We actually have a bubbled infernal, yeah, some sort of warrior toolbox. We actually have Dragon Link out here as well. Didn't think we'd see that. And then wow, this YCS actually produced some very interesting contenders, actually. And Eldritch, too, for that matter. Don't make 30% of you that are not smash. Just smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. So we have Infernoble, or this was I want to call this like Warrior Toolbox, but the original content was Infernoble. So this is just this is a Warrior Toolbox deck. You get access to connect. Oh my god, you have so many moving pieces in here. This is why I like this format, because you're so far back in the time capsule now that this old toolbox shenanigans are actually viable right now, and they can cause quite interesting problems if your opponent forgot where to interact with this deck. So if your opponent doesn't know, oh, maybe I should stop the Isolde, yeah, we've come far enough where people don't know that. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring with your one Doppel Warrior. That's cool. We have one Fireflint Lady with two Haure. We have two copies of Ignis Phoenix. We have one Gearfried with two copies of Renaud. We have one copy of Oliver with one copy of Majesty. We have triple Neospace Connector for the Dolphin so that you can look at your opponent's hand and take away the Nibiru. That's hilarious. We have one Red Layer with one Crusader and one Paladin. Then we have triple copies of Ohime, triple copies of Durandal, one copy of Blackgarden with one copy of the Different Dimension Reincarnation. We have one Sword for infinite value, triple copies of Heritage of the Chalice, and then you have one Minkanko Fire Dance, one Reflection Rondo with two Water Aberraske, one Rhoda, one Minkanko Ceremony, and triple Infinite Permanence. Down here in the next deck, we have the one Sprite Sprint, one Unicorn with two copies of Isolde. We have one Beyond the Pendulum with one Apollosa, one Access Code Talker with one Shooting Riser Dragon. We have one copy of Sorrow Cat. That's something you don't see. We have one Omega with one Martial Metal Marcher, one Herald. We have one Garden Rose Maiden with one Celestial Double Star Shaman and one Baron. Side deck here we have our two Lancia, two Droll with your two Nibiru, one Called By with one Harpy's Feather Duster, triple Lightning Storm, and triple copies of Evenly Matched here, wrapping up your Infernoble Toolbox. Cool. Next up is Dragon Link, and, all real things considered, I mean, Magna Hut is still the driving force of this deck. This is one of the only two decks in the room right now that I feel like are getting away with actually playing any sort of buy-steal numbers here, because Magna Hut, once again, is the lifeline for this. I mean, obviously, Lubellion's the driving force behind some of the more Despia interactions, so that's definitely something that you kind of gotta take into consideration here when you're looking at these lists, is just what will be optimized? Will it succeed? And, Dragon Link did find a chance out here. I mean, there was an extravaganza this weekend, too. This deck found success there. We'll talk about that tomorrow. So we have one copy of Absterado Dragon, triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring with your one Collapse Serpent. We have one Jerusalem with triple copies of Magna Hut. We have triple Snoraneer with a one Lavioneer. We have triple copies of Nibiru with one copy of Noctovision. We have one Rocket Recharge with two Rocket Tracers. We have triple Starleaf Safewart with two copies of Lubellion. We have one Wyvern Buster with triple copies of Book of Eclipse. We have one Boot Sector Launch with one Brandy Regained. Triple copies of Chaos Space with your one Dragon Ravine. Triple copies of Quick Launch, one Brand Beast, and triple copies of Infinite Impermanence here. Down here in the extract, you have the one Triple Burst, your one Striker Dragon, with your one Unicorn, one Phoenix with one IP. We have two copies of the Heavenly Spheres with one Pisty. We have one Romulus with one Dehark. We have one Borolin with one Apollosa, one Access Code Talker with one Borreload Savage, and one Baron de Fleur. Then we have triple copies of Lancia, triple copies of Radion, triple copies of Cosmic Cyclone with triple copies of Dimensional Bear. We also have triple copies of the good old Evenly Matched here, wrapping up your Bysteel Dragon Link. There's not a lot else to really say about this. I mean, a lot of this is kind of held together depending on interactions and things in the format, but that's not to say that it's bad. Alright, it's just consistency sometimes is not exactly in this deck's favor, I feel like. Next up here is Holy Tearlaments. Tearlaments oh my gosh, Tearlaments succeeded. They topped a YCS. I did not think that we would see this anytime soon, but it's because of the help of this little guy right here. Yes, this level 3 water monster really helps out the consistency of the deck, because this right here, getting to search for field spells, is always going to be a banger. Surprised to see this list is not playing Raceloth, actually, but okay. So we have 1 copy of Agito, 2 copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring with 1 Emerald Tortoise. We have 1 Destrudo with 1 copy of the Helshadal Hollow. We have 1 copy of Kelbeck with 1 copy of Keldo. Triple copies of King of the Swamp with 1 Mudora. We have 2 copies of Nibiru. 1 copy of Shadal Beast with 1 Squamata. We have 1 copy of Havness with triple copies of the Tearlaments Kashtira. We have 1 Merly with 2 copies of Reno Heart. We have 1 Shayren, 1 Called by the Grave with 1 Foolish Bro. We have 1 Foolish Bro Goods with 1 Polymerization. We have triple Paralineo with 1 copy of Grief. We have 1 Heartbeat with triple copies of Scream. And we have 1 copy of Terraforming. Then we have 1 Rainbow Bridge of Salvation, 1 Crime with 1 Meta Noise, okay, 2 Sullick, and 1 copy of the Trivi Karma. Wow. Down in the next check, we have 1 Sprint with 1 Dahark. We have 1 Timely Redoer with 1 Baguski. We have 1 copy of Zeus with 1 Baron de Fleur. We have 1 copy of Rukalos with 1 Kaleido Heart. We have 1 Dragos to play with 1 Mudmud. We have 1 Lubellion with 1 Guardian Chimera. We have 1 copy of Garaffa, 1 Garuda with 1 Winda. And then we have 2 copies of the Turtle, 1 copy of Token Collector, 1 Volcanic Scattershot with 1 Shekanaga. We have triple copies of Book of Eclipse with 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, triple Shadal Fusion, and triple copies of Evenly Matched here, wrapping up a very... I mean, this isn't really streamlined. There's a lot of interesting pieces in here, trying to take advantage of what we've seen as, like, more optimized results for this deck over time. It's kind of interesting. Next up here is Eldritch. I think this was the thing that caught me off guard here. I have not seen Eldritch do well at all. I mean, like, Labyrinth was, like, the go-to. So many people, like, oh my gosh, you know, like, you have to dust off this in order to have success with it. No, actually, you don't. It looks like you have a lot of different variations and ideas out here that players are kind of bringing to the table. And Eldritch was successful where we didn't see Labyrinth really being successful. So, you know, that's kind of interesting to see. So, a big fun machine here, evenly matched to go second. It's kind of cool. So, we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. We have triple copies of Eldritch the Golden Lord with 1 Cursed Old Land. We have 1 Harpy's Feather Duster with triple copies of Pot of Prosperity with triple copies of the Conquistador. We have triple copies of Scarlet Sanguine with triple copies of Evenly Matched. We have triple copies of Goes and Match. We have 2 copies of Higuero, triple copies of Rivalry of the Warlords. We have triple copies of Skill Drain. We have triple copies of Solemn Judgment. Triple copies of There Can Only Be One, and triple copies of Torrential Tribute. You see how simple that main deck is? That's why I always liked Eldritch as a deck, because, like, your consistent numbers and things that you are bringing to the table for this, they look beautiful and they're so easy to build for. We also have 1 Vampire Sucker with 1 Balinix, 1 Lina with 1 Link Spider. We have 1 Lingaribo with 1 Imduk. We have 1 Nib Hoshigan with 1 Soldier Chaos. We have 1 Juggernaut Livy. We have triple copies of Gustav Max with 1 copy of the Gangdari and 2 copies of Pallades. No Zeus in here. Interesting. We also have triple copies of Gamma Seal, triple copies of Spooky Dogwood, triple Lord of the Heavenly Prison, triple Dimensional Barrier, and triple copies of Imperial Iron Wall here, wrapping up your more tacked out Eldritch list than I kind of expected to see. Like, I like what they're doing here. I like the feel for this. It's just, I feel like there could be better options here overall. Next up here is Phantom Knights. This was a Dragon Duelist winners deck. Duelist actually took it down with Phantom Knights. Once again, you're seeing that diversity in the format here, actually being successful, and that's what you really want to see in this format. Is if something like old Phantom Knights can wake up out here and go, "Woo, I'm gonna win," you know, players are really shaking in their boots. They're gonna have to remember that Shade Brigade down here, a rusty tin can, is actually a big ol' annoying card. So we have 2 copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. We have 1 copy of Seer with 1 Garaffa. We have 1 Illegal Knight with triple copies of Nibiru. We have 1 copy of Psychic Tracker with 2 copies of Wielder. We have 2 copies of Ancient Cloak with 1 Ragged Gloves. We have triple copies of Silent Boots. We have 1 Stained Greaves with triple copies of Torn Scales. We have 1 Griffin Rider with triple Water Enchantress. 1 Dracoback with triple Emergency Teleport. We have 1 Faithful Adventure with 1 Rhoda, triple copies of Rite of Armesier. We have 1 Rank Up Magic Launch, 2 Evenly Matched, 2 Infinite Permanents, 2 Fogblade, and 1 copy of Phantom Knight Wings. Down in the next deck, we have 1 Underworld Goddess with 1 Rusty Bardiche, 1 copy of Unicorn with 1 IP, 1 Dahark, 2 Cherubini with 1 Apollosa, 1 Access Code Talker, 2 Breaksword, 1 Ophion, 1 Nightmare, 1 Downer Magician, and 1 Zeus. And then we have 1 Jurisworm, 2 Magna Hut, 2 Droll and Lockbird, triple Gamma, 1 Driver, 2 Cosmic Cycle with 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, 2 Dimensional Barrier, and 1 evenly matched here, wrapping up your chunk of interesting out of this weekend's events. So what do you guys think about these lists? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.